Right. Hello. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in again. Hope you enjoyed the first podcast. Joining me again, I have JohnPaul. Looking lovely.
Wild.
That Celtic jersey is looking mighty fine.
I know I'm on a strict ban between now and Christmas not to buy anything Man United. So I'll be shocked and disappointed come Christmas Day if there's not about 30 or 40 jerseys there. You know? Shock and disappointing.
We're recording this on Thursday, by the way, and Celtic are currently playing in the Europa League at the minute, hence his jersey.
And currently losing. Surprise, surprise.
Yes. Wouldn't be like them.
No.
So, yeah. I reckon we'll dive in, will we?
I think so too.
Right. Time for a bit of news.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Tonight's headlines. Diego Maradona is reported missing. Was Matt Groening trying to tell us something about safe sex? The word cunt. The most offensive word since Trump, or just an abbreviation? Laura Bentner's new business venture. And why have pigeons, according to a recent poll, become 20% more cocky in the last 12 months than any other bird on the street? Irish Rear of the Year and little-known house developer Diego Maradona has been reported missing this week in what one Kerry local says is the most shocking disappearance since the times of Lord Fungi. The fierce man of nature was working on something he called the greatest experiment with housing since the floating abode when he went missing down in Kerry. Let's talk to this Kerry man now.
Oh Jesus, I turned on my television device this morning and there he was, staring at me, and sure I was watching it for 12 hours and he didn't show up again. Not like him to be off the telly for that long. So I had to report him missing.
Matt Groening, who is most well known for creating The Simpsons, still to this day claims that there was only 2 strands of chlamydia, and that healthcare professionals are just being too clever with their assumptions. After all, I think he could be right. You know, itchy and scratchy.
Itchy and scratchy!
C-U-N-T. Offensive or just a short abbreviation? We cross over to JohnPaul in Dictionary Corner with more on this story.
King of Literacy Michael D. Higgins has followed up in his claim that can't actually means see you next Tuesday in a startling conversation he shared with his wife last Tuesday when detailing his trip to the red light district the following Tuesday. Coronavirus.
Former Arsenal footballer Nicholas Bentner has made a venture into the world of women's lingerie, where he thinks his legendary status as highest goal scoring forward of all time will now be swept under the carpet. We cross to JohnPaul now, who's outside his home in Copenhagen.
Ah, Jesus, that will be true. Nicky himself reckons he'll score more goals in the bedroom than that of a grassy, fragrant pitch in North London. Bows out.
In showbiz news, Borat has gotten a new iPhone. It's a great success. A recent poll has discovered that pigeons have become overconfident on the streets of Ireland in the past 12 months. In response to this recent poll, the king of pigeons in Ireland claimed, "We are a far superior bird than seagulls. We own the streets. We will never adhere to socially distancing rules." Let's cross to JohnPaul for more.
Annoying. And that's me talking about pigeons. The local pidgeot, originally from Abbey Street in Dublin, is the biggest bastard in Dublin. Out.
These headlines were not brought to you by anybody because nobody wants to sponsor us. Please sponsor us. Right, thanks for the news there. Bit of sport. Big sport news this week is, of course, the untimely death of Diego Maradona, age 60.
Sads.
How did it hit you?
That is just, yeah. I don't know. I have the debate, in my head the whole time. I still think George Best is the greatest footballer of all time. But when you put Maradona's, achievements, they outweigh George Best. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's fitting that they share an anniversary as well.
Yeah, and what I discovered was as well, former United legend Bill Foulkes shares the same anniversary as well. He died in 2013. That bit mad.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
that's mad. That is uncanny.
Yeah, three of them, like, Jesus.
Yeah, that is uncanny.
It's a bit nuts now,
It's a big loss for sport, not just for football, I think.
An incredible loss. big loss to the cocaine trade, Sinaloa cartel, Escobar's, relatives will be weeping, as well. I don't know.
Did you see what Peter Shilton said last week? Or not last week, in May, I think it was.
Yeah, I did.
He put up on Twitter saying that I'm a Tory who got outjumped by a 5'5" communist on cocaine.
Yeah. And he was real, he was miserable about the passing of Maradona. And actually, a guy that I follow on Facebook, I actually shared the post, and he just commented, Peter shit on. So that's what I'm going to call him from now on. Like, Peter shit on sounds more, appropriate than Peter Shilton. He's fucking, 6'5", and he got out jumped. Never mind the hand, he got out jumped by a 5'5", dwarf. Like, Maradona was more suitable to appearing in Snow White than to be on a football pitch playing at a World Cup. Let that sink in, like.
And let's be face it, like, he probably scored the greatest World Cup goal of all time.
I think he scored two of the greatest. Like, one was a slam, slam dunk, and the other, arguably the greatest goal of all time. But that, I think Phil Jones, OG in the Premiership against Blackburn a couple of years ago, is better. It was better,
That was some finish.
Oh, I think it was much better, much better goal. Much better, right? Like, he's a much better player, I think, Phil Jones. But that's a conversation for another day. Like, I think we should definitely dedicate a podcast to Phil Jones and, his teammate Chris Smalling, also known as Laurel and Hardy.
Michael Smalling as Louis van Gaal.
Michael Smalling, yes.
This is my captain, Michael Smalling.
Go on, Mike.
Oh, I can't believe he did that. Like, that was just pure and utter, like, oblivious to the situation kind of thing.
I totally agree. He really did not know his players, but he didn't do.
Oh no, not a hope.
He didn't do half bad though, to be fair. But
yeah, like, he won an FA Cup.
Exactly,
and let's face it, the highlight of his entire United career was him diving on the ground.
Yeah, that was the most animated he got. Like,
it's still iconic.
It was the most he did. Like,
amazing piece of TV.
Like, it's the most he did in, like, all the time. In the whole time he was there, that was the most animated he got on the side of the pitch. Like, but Diego, rest in peace. Someone will have to take over, like, from you buying the coke, but I'm sure we can arrange that on the down low. Not me now,
Not me either. Hang on, don't throw me under the bus here.
I'm not saying anything. I'm sure it's good produce. I'm not saying now, the manufacturers do a bad job, like, but that's, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking out for the buys, who I don't know on a first name basis.
Well, Diego definitely did anyway.
Oh, for sure. He was at every 21st.
And did you see Napoli are looking to change in their stadium, the name?
They're
going to name it after him.
I actually think it's been approved, actually. I think they are actually going to do it. Yeah. But, like,
I think it's nice. Like, he turned that club around, like.
But they're keeping the name, like, of the old fucking stadium as well, like. It's a bit fucking long, like.
San Paolo Diego Armando Maradona Stadium.
Yeah, like, fuck, that's a mouthful, like.
Gee, like, that's an address.
It's
not the name of a stadium.
Address. Like, Jesus Christ. It's like that show, like.
Listen, there's that error code.
It's like that fucking town in Wales, 26 wards. That,
that weatherman, when he said it, you could see it in his face. He was just delighted with himself.
Oh, he was loving life. Fair play to him as well, Still iconic to this day,
That'll never get old.
It will never get old.
Bring it a bit closer to home now. Like, Tip, Cavan, All-Ireland semi-finalists.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that one? Who would have thought that?
It's a shame the bars aren't open, because the bars would have made some amount of money from Cavan people.
Well, let's face it. Cavan did that on purpose.
Oh, they
Cavan
did.
did that on purpose. They wait till all the pubs are shut to get to an All-Ireland semi-final.
It would be the equivalent, like, I would reckon, like, you know, a Cavan man turning around, like, you know, say up in, where was the final? Was it in Crossmaglen in Armagh? Yeah, it was in Crossmaglen. Imagine, like, a Cavan man walking into a pub with all his Cavan buddies, like, I'll buy the first round, you know. It would be a pint of Guinness, right, say 6 friends, right? It would be 1 pint of Guinness with 6 straws. That's exactly what it would be, you know. No doubt about it. But fair play to them. I still don't understand the whole thing of, like, moving Dublin out of Crow Park and all this sort of crack. It is an unfair advantage. Fair enough if, you know, the void was closer, but it's not. They could play them anywhere.
No, it's...
And it's still, you know...
Like, the only way we can look at it now is that, like... That Tip and Cavan have both done so well to get to where they are. Even Mayo as well, to an extent. But I think that void between Dublin and everybody else is just far too big. Like, you have Brian Fenton in the middle of the field there. Like, if he was playing with, say, a Carlo, they'd be challenging for a Leinster.
I'd agree with you.
That's how good he is. And their bench is just insane as well. Like,
I'd agree with that also. We will not get into our own counties, you know. I'm not even going to call it misfortunes, because we should have done an awful lot better. But yeah, and I from your neighbours in Meath, Cavan, wish you the best of luck. I would love nothing more than to see Dublin get bet by any county. But it'd be great to see the real boys in blue get to an All-Ireland final. And apologies, I know of 2 Dublin friends who listened in last week to the podcast. It's just a little dig, you know. I love yous, you know. Shout out to the.
It's not a dig against the people.
No,
it's
like
the county in general.
Shout out to my man in Ballyfermot and my man in Finglas. Lovely people. Lovely people.
Joe Duffy.
It ain't Joe, man. It ain't Joe, and it ain't Keith Duffy either.
5 wash your hands.
But also, well done to Tipperary. That jersey is exceptional. Like, it's one of the best jerseys GA brought out in a long time. Like, it's been produced.
It was a nice touch.
It was a great touch, I'm delighted to retire the jersey as well, because, like, it was for the occasion, and it's nice for that jersey to be remembered on a day that bridged an 85-year gap, in my opinion. And Michael Quinn-Levin is some footballer. I'll just mention that. My God,
he has to be one of the most underrated footballers in the country, I think.
He's incredible.
He is dragging that Tipperary team.
He kind of reminds me of your man, it's Emmett something, and he played with Leitrim for years, and, like, if he was in any other county team, Jesus, he would have got a lot more recognition for what he did, like. But I cannot think, for the life of me, of his second name. Emmett something, but super footballer, and some of these footballers should be, you know, I think they should get more praise than they do. But look, I wish the two boys, you know, the 2 squads of 30 plus their management, the best of luck in the semi-finals of the All-Ireland Football Championship. It'd
be nice to see a change.
And I'd also like to wish the Daisha Waterford the best of luck on Saturday. I know this podcast is out on Sunday, but I wish them the very best of luck. I'd love to see Waterford win an All-Ireland Hurling Championship. They would be my favourite of the big teams. They're kind of like the Mayo of hurling. They haven't won the All-Ireland in so long, so I hope to win on Saturday. Up the Daisha.
You're here. Right. I think we'll get going on something else now. Talk about women in music, how they run the music industry basically, and don't get the recognition for it.
Yes, I would agree.
So I was during the week I was looking up things, and it says between 2013 and 2020, 11.7% of Grammy nominations were female. 11.7%.
Now, when you're on the note of the Grammys, though, it is the first year ever that the best rock performance or best rock album it is all female. Now,
Yeah, and it's good to see.
Now, to be honest, I wouldn't agree with their definition of rock totally, because I don't think Haim is a rock band. I think they're more a pop band, but it is great to see anyway. You know, it's wonderful to see. But yeah, I don't really follow the Grammys anymore. Not on the topic of female singers, rather, but Fontaine's were nominated, like, for a Grammy, and great for Irish music that they were. But their new album is fucking awful. It would push a man over the edge. Like,
I don't understand why the first one wasn't.
The
and
first
this
one
is,
should have been. The first
it's
one
backwards.
should have been. Oh, the first one definitely should have been. Like, fuck me, I don't belong. Life ain't always empty. That's the best song. A Hero's Death is the best song, and it was the first one they released. And then I listened to it, and I just couldn't get over how shocking it was. It's shocking. Like, sorry, but stop trying to impersonate like Joy Division. You know, to an extent that they have.
He is a love child of Liam Gallagher and Ian Curtis.
Oh, for sure.
And you just look at his stage presence.
And to be fair, I do like his stage presence. The kind of, you know, all conquering dickhead on stage. I do like it. Like, you know, yourself, Dan, and myself are big Liam Gallagher fans. You know, like Julian Casablancas out of Strokes. We're big Strokes fans. You know, the list is endless. You know, it is endless. Like, but I just don't understand why, as you said there, why that album got nominated for a Grammy and Doggerel didn't even get a look in when that was released. It's a bit ridiculous. But back on the subject of women in music, I'm delighted to see so many, you know, female nominees for the Grammys. Because to be fair, some of the best music this year that's been released is by female artists. You know, like every year, but this year
I'd
more
go as far as to
ever.
say some of the best music of all time is released by women.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like, if you look at, even just look at like solo female artists in like pop, you have Beyonce, Miley Cyrus, Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, Britney Spears. These people have just been dominating the charts for years, with the exception of like the odd Ed Sheeran album or something. But like, women have dominated the charts and pop music for so long.
Yeah, no, I don't particularly like any of the above. Who did you name there?
Who did I say? Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, Miley Cyrus, Britney Spears, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, Taylor
Like,
Swift.
I'm not
does
big
my
fans. I'm
head
not
in.
saying, I'm not naming them that, like, but I'm saying how influential they are being in the music scene.
They're very influential, like, but I just, like, it's great to see all them women do well. Well done, hats off to them. But there's so many other female, you know, singers and stuff. Like, in my opinion, like, you look at Taylor Swift, right? And this is something that really annoys me with Taylor Swift. First of all, she's a moaner. Like, fuck off, moaning. Singing about something happy, you know. I like their old stuff. You know, I know that's very cliche, but I actually like their country stuff. Call that whatever you like. I don't care. But, like, charging 76 to €100 a ticket for a gig to go and see her, when the vast majority of her fan base is probably under the age of 16. Let's be real, like, you know. And
Yeah,
like, you think
like, it's very extortionate.
it's extortionate, completely extortionate. Britney Spears mimes when she's live. Like, I think there's other female artists, for example, Wolf Alice, like Ellie. What a woman, what a voice, what a guitar player, you know.
If we're talking about like females in bands and stuff, like, you have Alabama Shakes there as well, like Brittany Howard,
Yeah,
Blondie, Eurythmics, No Doubt, Cranberries, Paramore,
yeah.
Yeahs. Like, even a bit closer to home, like, you have Sprints,
Brilliant band.
Vernon Jane, like Pillow Queens, Pow Pig. All of these Irish women in music are just like flying at the minute. Like,
Oh, they are indeed.
like if you look at it, solo artists as well, like, you have Denise Chyla, Sorka Richardson, Lisa Hannigan, Imelda May. Like, it's
Loved Imelda May. I used to love Imelda May. I like her new music as well. She's doing spoken word. It'll go to show you how versatile an artist Imelda May is. Like, as well, She was rockabilly. That
Oh, yeah.
was the style of music, and it was class. I never heard, I never really listened to rockabilly until I started listening to Melody May. About, I think it's 10 years ago anyway. Johnny got a boom boom, bang bang. All that sort of stuff. Exactly. But like all that sort of stuff, and all them Irish artists that you just mentioned. Denise Chala is doing a lot of great things.
Chyla.
Chyla. Apologies, Denise, if you're listening. You're probably not, but look, soundskin. But like she's speaking up as well. Black Lives Matter, all that. She was on the Late a while ago with Tubbs, man, and she did a great job. I thought she did a fantastic job, and fair fucks to her. Like, but there's a lot. Like you mentioned, Blondie. Blondie is like Debbie Harry. What a woman! Like so many hits. Like, and Miley Cyrus. Actually, mentioned Miley Cyrus. I was actually listening to her new song there. She's a new one out with Dua Lipa, who's another one. Like, I'm not mad into pop, but Dua Lipa is some absolute bangers, and Miley as well is killing it in the minute. She's a song with Dua Lipa, Prisoner. It's an excellent song, and her last single was class, and her covers over the last couple of months have been incredible. I think she's a rock chick,
Her zombie cover like gave me goosebumps.
I thought it was the best like rendition of not Blondie. I'll get on to that one. But the best rendition of that song, by another artist. Like, I don't think anyone comes close to that for like however like she comes the closest, I think, to Dolores. And I love all these fuckers complaining. And Irish people are the best people in the world to complain. We're also the greatest people in the
Cancel
world.
culture.
But we're all over. But like, fuck me, give the girl a break. Jesus Christ, the Cranberries even come out and said it was a wonderful rendition of the song. So there's no need for anyone else's input after that. Right, yeah, she might not know, the full meaning of the song.
Ins and outs of the songs. But she's made it her own.
She's made it her own, she has.
She's interpreted a song in the way she feels suits her.
Exactly.
And it comes through in the song. Like.
And she delivered it with passion. But I don't think, like, she covered, the last couple of weeks there, she covered Boys Don't Cry as well. Wasn't a huge fan of that, but it was a good version. She did, actually, there was two covers that I felt were more impressive than Zombie. And Zombie I thought was very impressive. Man Eater.
Heart of Glass.
Heart of Glass.
Yeah, that was great.
I'll get on to Heart of Glass. Oh, God, yeah. But Man Eater, she had a real slow down at the start and then boom, bash, bang. And it was savage. But Heart of Glass, like, I remember I was going up with my band at the time, with Daniel sat in the car. He was roped into doing a bit of photography. And he came up in the car, so he did. And I forget who said it in the car, but told to put on Miley Cyrus' Heart of Glass. I did not expect much.
It was Kira who said it.
It was Keir, sorry. Well done. I'm allowed to call her this, am I?
Since we're on the topic of female band members.
What? More fucking...
Since we're on the topic of female band members.
Yes, give us, give the honey a bit of credit, But, right. Yeah, sorry, I went a bit wandery there. But that came on and it hit me straight away, like the cymbal crashing at the start and then bang, like it's just, like, the voice is class and she sings with such passion as well. Like, I think I put her and I put Lady Gaga in the same category. I would love to hear them both do an original rock album. It's great to hear these people covering, these songs. Like Miley Cyrus could record a country album. She could record a rock album. She's a wonderful country singer. And she's
I'm convinced Melody Cyrus could actually like rap.
Oh, she probably can, like,
She could probably do anything, like.
Like, she's incredible. And the same with Lady Gaga. Like, Lady Gaga is insanely talented. And a great actress as well. Like, a wonderful actress. And Jesus Christ. I think, to me, like, they're the two biggest names, I think, in female music at the moment. Like, I know Lady Gaga hasn't released really anything. Or did she put out an album this year? She did put out an album.
I think she did, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that memorable, but I wouldn't be
I think Lady Gaga could probably not put out an album for 5 years and everyone will still know her.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the kind of impact she's had.
I prefer the way she portrayed herself in A Star Is Born and the music. The real I like good music. I do like electronic music. I do like music with computers involved and stuff. But there's nothing better than a live band, recording a song and not having to worry about anything like that. Just plug in and play away. And I think Star Is Born highlighted how talented she actually is. Her voice is incredible. But yeah, I think they're the two brightest stars at the minute, taking over from Twink, who was the queen of the pantomime here in Ireland and worldwide. But she's
Samantha Mumba as well.
Yeah, put her on there. What's your one off exposer? Glenda Gilson, is it?
Glenda Gilson.
Oh, Glenda Gilson.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story actually. I was in hospital once, right? Once I was in hospital twice in my whole life. Actually, I've been in the hospital twice, and I was lying there anyway, and the doctor came in and asked me the name of my GP. So I was like, right, well, Gilson is the second name. I was like, what the fuck is her first name? It's like, what the fuck is her first name? Me sitting there, and Ewan goes to me, do you know her first name? I was like, just give me a minute there, I'll think. And I turn around and go, Glenda. Right? And she's standing there all, smirky at me, kind of, laughing at me. Didn't laugh now, but she was smiling at me like. Me thinking, I was like, why the fuck is she smiling at me? And sure, I was told then a while later, sure, that's you want off exposer. It's like the name I was meant to say was Joan Gilson, what? Why? What came to me? Like, what in the name of Jesus was I thinking? Glenda Gilson. Yeah, Glenda Gilson off exposer is my GP. Yeah. That's very believable, Very clever lad,
I don't think I'd want to go to that GP practice anyway.
No. Magazines and boots and shit,
Just closer to home, like some of the Irish women in music you have, like even the ones you didn't mention, like you have Roisin Murphy, like Mary Black, Dolores Keane.
Yeah.
Sinead O'Connor. Enya.
Sharon Shannon. She doesn't sing, but she's
Sharon Shannon,
big Irish musician.
You have 3/4 of the Cure, of the Cores, even, not the Cure.
the better fucking three in the Cores.
Oh yeah.
They're one of my all-time favourite Irish bands. I just think their music is class, and the way they mix Irish traditional music with rock, pop, and all that, like it's class. Like
it leaves you breathless.
Makes you want to run away. Like,
right, we're not doing any more of these.
No, but like they have a song in particular, which is there's no singing in this song. It's called "Toss the Feathers," and it's just this. It's like something you'd hear at a river dance, It's literally something you'd hear at a river dance. Violin comes in, and that's the intro, and going on the drums, and then boosh, electric guitar comes in with a huge power chord, and it's completely different, you don't hear that anymore, you really don't. And
no, I think they were kind of a one of a kind now.
They were one of a kind, and I don't think as well. I think they get pulled apart kind of because of who Jim Corr is, who I just don't like Jim Corr. I'm not going to go into a rant like I did on poor old Damo last week, but Jim Corr and his beliefs and his mindset about everything is just atrocious. And how how his three fucking sisters, I think they're all
stand by,
they're all sisters and brothers, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're all the one family.
The one family, yeah. Like mad, Dundalk, up Dundalk, bring back dialogue.
You have Sharon Corr, Andrea Corr, Jim Corr.
Can never remember the name of the drummer.
I can't remember the last one.
The drummer is the one I leave myself stuck on. But
somebody let us know, please.
Please do, yeah. But they brought out one of the best Irish albums, I think, of the last 30. Be the last 30 years, Forgiven Not Forgotten is a great album, and a great mix of great mix of tunes on it. Runaway is on it. Toss the Feathers that I was talking about. Forgiven Not Forgotten, the title track, is on it. Some great tunes on it. But I think the Irish music scene is most certainly a better place with the amount of Irish female artists in it, and it's going like it is going great. To be fair, like I think the Irish public appreciate female artists a lot more than some other countries do, and I think like in regards to to be honest, I don't like this complaining about festival lineups as well. This kind of does my nut in, the festival lineup kind of thing, like you're like I don't know what the ratio is of female to male artists. I don't know what the ratio is, but I can assure you it's probably 60-40, 55-45 in favour of the male, end of things. So there's always going to be more, like, I think, male artists available to be booked for festivals than female.
But I don't think that's not down to the organiser saying, well, we don't want women. I think it's just a lot of it. The sound doesn't really suit festivals for a lot of artists. Like obviously there is exceptions in that, but
there is a lot of exceptions. Like but
let's bank like the likes of Britney Spears isn't going to be playing at Electric Picnic.
No, she's too greedy. Like she'd play her own show. Like they're going to make more money by playing their own show. Exactly. Merchandise.
But it's not just shit. Like they're making more money. It's just I feel like a lot of bands and sounds and stuff are suited to festivals, and it just so happens that they're majority male. But it doesn't make them any better, like, or worse.
It's not like I think people go on as if, a festival is 100% male and there's no female acts. Like Electric Picnic here at home, like you get such an array of Irish female acts and international acts, at it. And I think it's ridiculous. Like you'd like a Billie Eilish playing very high up the main stage on the Friday of last year. Yeah, now I'm not a fan of Billie Florence and the Machine. There you go. I'm not a fan of Billie Eilish. Huge.
Dua Lipa was the biggest crowd in years.
Yeah, she was there the year previous. Like, they can give out and all that, and I just don't agree with it. Like, I'm trying to think of Glastonbury there. Now, Taylor Swift was meant to headline Glastonbury this year.
I think you're right.
Like, there's the biggest festival in the world, with one of the top female artists in the world headlining. Like, I just don't agree. I don't agree with it. I think, like, these petitions and stuff, like, people make up, like, festivals should be more diverse. I think they're very diverse. I just think that there's more bookable, probably male artists for festivals, as you were saying, and, like, women power, female power,
Mm-hmm.
Great people, We wouldn't be here without the help of a woman, That's what I say, Dan.
It's going very well at the minute. Like I think people are starting to recognise that women in music aren't getting enough credit, and slowly we're getting there. They are getting the credit.
Yeah, and I think they do deserve it. Like it's coming a long time, like, but I think the festival thing they should lay off. I think there's a lot of opportunities there, and I think it's as 50-50, like, as it's ever been. It should be 50-50 anyway, but, like, I think it's a very balanced playing field, like, for both sides, like, and then mixed groups as well, like,
Yeah.
Like, I think it's going well, to be fair. Like, maybe I'll dress up in drag, bust out a Whitney Houston number one of these days,
I would pay the price of an Electric Picnic ticket to see that for 20 minutes and go home.
20 minutes?
You dressed up in drag singing something to be...
That means I could sing I Will Always Love... What was it? I Will Always Love You, yeah.
Love you.
I could sing that 5 times in 20 minutes, so I just have to learn the words for that. That would be one epic gig, wouldn't it?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Get some pyro and everything.
Yeah, fuck it, yeah. Yeah. I actually want to tell a funny story while we're on the topic of, females in music. Madonna, right?
Yeah.
I have a story to tell. Don't really care if my brother is going to, kill me or whatever. But anyway, years ago, I'm going to say, I don't know how long Hung Up is out. It could have been 4 minutes either with Justin Timberlake, and I think that's out 12 years, so that'd make more sense. But I think it was Hung Up that was on the telly. And my brother became infatuated with Madonna on the telly, you know. You know, he was mesmerised, you know, with her looks and stuff, you know, obviously. And, yeah, I was sitting there kind of giggling to myself. I was only, he was probably 10, I was 11. And I was sitting there laughing kind of to myself. And he goes to me and says, why haven't you said that? Isn't she gorgeous? I was like, yeah, probably back in her day. And he was like, what do you mean back in her day? I was like, do you not realise that woman is nearly 50? And he was shocked. He didn't believe me, like, you know. It's like Matty going after cougars, like, you know. It's fucking mad.
She looks great for her age, though, to be fair.
She does, but, like, you know, she's kind of gone off the boil the last couple of years since that fall at the Brit Awards. There hasn't been much about her, you know.
I'm sorry if this offends anyone, but I genuinely think that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I agree.
Not just because it was Madonna, it was just hilarious. Like,
if it was anyone, if it was a male fucking singer or anything like that, we're not sexist. We just thought it was so funny. Like, I was sitting here watching it and I was like, what the fuck is that happening there? Was that meant? And you knew straight away it wasn't meant. She buckled herself. You kind of had to,
you should think about it for a second, being like, oh, did that happen? Oh, it did, yeah.
Like, she buckled herself. She absolutely buckled herself. And it was one of the greatest Brits moments of all time.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. It's not my favourite Brit moment. I think Jarvis Cocker just arriving on stage during Michael Jackson's performance of Earth Song, just standing there.
Yeah.
You know, he did nothing. He just stood there. Gate crashed.
He didn't do anything. He just...
Gate crashed the song. But here, Jarvis doesn't want to live like common people.
Anyway, I think that's enough of that.
You know?
So we'll move on to another serious topic. So last week, if you're listening, we talked about Movember and mental health and how it's important to get talking about these things. This week we decided to talk about homelessness, just because coming into Christmas, winter months, it gets dark early, and especially with COVID, I think there's not a lot of people on the streets. So if people are walking around on streets and stuff, they're going to talk to you always see people talking to homeless people. And with the lack of people on the streets and the time of year, I think it's just going to be incredibly hard, more so than ever.
Yep, I'd agree with that. Bearing in mind, we do record our podcast of a Thursday. I was scrolling through Facebook on my break today from work, and I came across kind of something that's shocking, but it's happening too much, and there's not enough help given by the government. Homelessness shouldn't be a problem. But anyway, my story is there was a man on his commute to work today. He works in close proximity to Leinster House, and he became friendly with a homeless man over the past couple of months who was sleeping there. All was grand. He knew him on a first name basis, and he'd help him out whatever way he could. This morning, that man who was on his commute to work was greeted by a shock when he seen Gardaí, ambulance services and all that at the same spot where this homeless man was living. The man was found dead. He died overnight. I don't know what from. Could have been hypothermia, you know, anything. Could have been anything. The cold is it is chilling. Like, you nearly want, like today going to work there, I nearly put on 2 jackets, you know. But then again, that's not, you know, I don't work very hard, so, you know, I that to it too. But it's a serious issue, and I just seen that today. I forget what your man was called, the man who'd greet this homeless man on his way to work. But it sets you back a bit. And there's great man I'm friends with on Facebook called Dermot, who puts a lot of money into helping the homelessness effort. He does be at the GPO, I believe, in Dublin on a Wednesday and Friday. I think it's the 2 days. And then at the weekend, could be a Sunday, he does be there with clothes that's been donated from the public. But this man has put in his work night and day. He too, I believe, was in a similar situation years ago and managed to turn his life around, and he's kind of going around preaching his own story, which is fantastic for these people on the streets, that, you know, you can turn your life around with a little bit of help. But that's down to people helping out those people on the streets who have nothing, you know.
Exactly. Like, I one thing that sticks out to me for homelessness was a time where myself and yourself were sitting in a pub, not to be named, in Dublin, near Powers Court, and we were sitting there enjoying our Guinness, whatever, grand, sitting chatting amongst ourselves, and this man came up and just started talking to us. He didn't ask for money. He didn't ask any of that. Like, he wasn't in your face being like, I'm homeless, can I have money? He came up and made a genuine conversation and was talking, and we ended up getting to talk. I'd say we were talking to him for a good half an hour, maybe more.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was just,
hour, yeah.
And he was just one of the nicest people you'd meet. Like, he was just so genuine. And
I think he was a Kerry man.
He was
a Kerry man.
He was, and he was asking us where we were from. And we said Nav, and he was like, "Oh, no way! I have an ex from Kells." So he knew. He was able to relate it back. Do you remember? Like, he was talking about Kells and did we know Kells and how, like,
it's
what
nice.
were we doing up in Dublin? Why were we up there? And
it's nice to have a conversation.
It's nice to hear these
you know.
stories of people. Like,
kind of funny though. Like it's nice to have a conversation with a Kerry man. You know, him knowing we're from Meath without, like, you know, getting the Pat Spillane spiel. You know, how fucking shit we are at football. You know, he wasn't saying that. He actually, I think he nearly brought up the time that I think he brought it up the time Meath kicked the shit out of Kerry. You know,
he did actually.
Yeah, like, and we wouldn't remember that. We were too fucking young to remember that.
Yeah.
But he was a lovely man and real gracious and, you know, really nice guy, and we appreciate his time, you know, and lovely man. Could, you know, run out of words to, you know, describe the man, and I hope he's doing well. Never got, well, I don't know whether we did get his name, but I do forget what his name was. It'd be great to meet the man again.
I think we did at the time. It's not coming to me now.
Not coming to me either, but he was a great man, lovely. One of the best conversations I've had in a long while, you know, and a complete stranger, you know.
It was a very wholesome content. Like, it was just a lovely conversation to have with a genuinely nice person.
I agree with you, yeah.
To know.
But they are
a little bit more about the homeless anyway. There's
same as everyone. They're the same as any. They're normal human beings.
Exactly.
They're not rats. They're not, you know, scaremongers. They're not anything. The government are the scaremongers, not the homeless people. You know, they ended up in this situation by no fault of their own. In 99% of each of these situations, you know, and like Mihal, aka Mr. Burns, Taoiseach. You have to be doing more. You know, it's just it can be very, very annoying, and it's very annoying. You're 23, I'm nearly 23, and we're still talking about this.
I'm 24.
You're 24. Sorry, you should have just went along with it, lad. But
I shouldn't have said anything.
It's just very. No, you shouldn't have. But it's just incredibly annoying to be still having this conversation, and it makes me really angry, you know, with the amount of homes that are not, you know, in use at the minute, that this situation,
the ghost
you know,
homes,
the ghost estates, like, and everything.
You've ghost estates there,
you know. There's a ghost estate, a ghost estate, for example, literally a minute away from me.
Yeah,
you know,
there's one in Dunshaughlin as well,
and I'm sure there's one in Navan, and I wouldn't like to know the number of them estates in Dublin, or not even Dublin. There would be no ghost estates in Dublin, Jesus. But surrounding the country, there's definitely empty houses in Dublin, you know, extortionate money to buy one or to rent one. Like, why there can't be a government initiative to get these people housed? Like, it does make me angry. I'm a bit angry in my voice, I'm very sorry, but it annoys me. It annoys me, like, it really, really annoys me.
It does. It's just, it's not like we're saying cure homelessness right now. Like, it needs to happen right now. It's going to be a gradual thing. But if the government can get involved with this and, like, get a grant in place or something where it makes rent cheaper, or set them up with a job in some way, like, because I think there is a stigma for people who are, like, employers looking for employees. If you see somebody homeless, like, let's face it, you're not going to get the job, and that's unfortunately a prejudice that is, like, evident. It's clear in the country, and it's not just in Ireland really. But for example, like in August 2020, there was 30 families became homeless in Dublin alone. Like, that's uncanny.
It's disgraceful.
30 families.
It's absolutely disgraceful.
It's
like.
a disgrace.
It's a joke. Like, it's a complete
Extortionate
joke.
rent prices.
That's what it is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, once upon a time I wanted to actually live in Dublin. That I don't understand where that really came from. And Dublin is a great city, don't get me wrong, it's a great town. But why? Like, you're paying so much money. Like, this has gone off topic, but you're paying so much money to live in a shoebox. You know, I live in the country.
Yeah.
Dan lives in the country there as well. You know, we've great outdoor space and, you know, freedom in a kind of sense. You know, nobody's on top of each other in a kind of way. And we can go and we can come and go from Dublin as we please, you know. And, like, it's not even just Dublin, like, where this is happening. It happens in the road in Navan. And Navan has a very, very small population of people compared to, like, you know, the like of Dublin. Or even the next biggest town, which would probably be Drogheda, you know. And it's just it's a mess. And, like, I know there's lots of people. There's St. Vincent de Paul, there's Focus, the Simon Community, Peter McVerry. I think you have some info on Peter McVerry, don't you, or some information?
Yeah, there was in 2019 over 6,000 people accessed the Peter McVerry Trust services. Like, that's a huge amount. 6,000 people.
6,000 too many, is what I said.
Yeah.
And if it was one person, that's one too many. There's like, this problem is ridiculous. And this whole thing of a politician, I forget the name of the politician, but it angered a lot of people, obviously for the obvious reasons, that there'll always be homeless people. Well, no.
Doesn't have to be.
You know? No, there doesn't have to be.
They will if they have that mentality.
They will, yeah. But they haven't done anything to, you know, combat the thing. And I know we've probably talked longer than, you know, we intended on talking about this, but it's an important subject.
Yeah.
And
it is. It's something that needs to be brought up.
Yeah. And, like, what I say to people as well, Vincent de Paul, shoebox appeal, all that, like, there's families that are going to be in hotel rooms not fit for purpose this Christmas, like every other year, and they need support. And, you know, even if it's a toothbrush, that goes a long way, you know. And like, there's them, there's the Simon Community said, just who else, Dan?
Focus Ireland, and then, like, there's a specific one for women. It's Daisy House.
Right.
It specialises in, like, homeless women as well.
Never actually heard of them.
There's a serious amount of charities out there in Ireland dedicated to the cause of homelessness, and I think it's just something that we should all be conscious of, especially around Christmas.
Right, I think we should wrap it up there, Dan. What do you think?
Yes, I agree. We should wrap it up.
Do you know?
Right. Thanks for listening, guys. Just great response to the first episode. Keep it going. We keep sailing away, you know how it goes. Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Daniel, I would like to say something. I would like to say something to you before you do sail away. And just to let you know, the apple does never fall too far from the tree.
Unbelievable, Jeff. Cheers. Right, next episode 3 out next Sunday. Catch you there, right? Nice one. Sound.
Sail away!
Bye-bye.
Coronavirus.